Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our Wednesday Wisdom. I hope that this morning finds you doing well. Hopefully you've got a good night's rest. I know you're getting ready for school and for work, but I just appreciate you as always joining us, and I hope that you will get something out of our devotional this morning. Now, I was talking to my parents the other day, and we were just reminiscing and going over some things. It's hard to believe in being out of high school all these many years. And I remember as I was getting ready to graduate from high school that I was going to stay behind in our hometown. I'd received a scholarship to our local junior college, but my parents were going to move away. My dad had received a promotion with his job, and so everything was changing as it normally does. But I remember sitting down with my parents and going over a few things, and both of them telling me, what I needed to do if something were to happen, who I needed to go see for help. If I had car trouble, to go see this individual at this store, and if I needed to go see a doctor, go see this one, or if I needed help, here's a list of names, friends that we had gained throughout the years in our hometown. And I remember both my parents emphasizing that whenever I needed that help, to go see them, and then just to tell them our family name. If I needed to, just to tell them my dad's name. If I needed to, just to tell them my mom's name. And both of them said, the reason you do that is because people know who we are. You see, we had lived in our hometown at least up to that point for over a decade. My parents had built themselves up a good name. Of course, as any 18-year-old, you understood at least what they were saying, but it didn't really become a reality until probably about 6 to 8 months later when I did need some help concerning my car. So I'd gone to the place where my dad told me to go to, and I explained what was going on, and the man asked a few questions, and somehow we turned the conversation towards my dad, and I told him his name, and he said, I know your dad. I know who he is, and he's a great customer, great, whatever he would have to say as far as good, positive things about my dad. And he said, we'll fix you right up, and if need to, I can just talk to your dad over the phone, and we'll work something out. It was at that moment that it was impressed on me and the value of having a good name, what it meant, and how much it matters to the people around us, the name that we build for ourselves. It isn't until years later, then after studying Scripture, that I realized that having a good name is a biblical principle. Proverbs 22:1 says that a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, and favor is better than silver or gold. Every day that we go to work, I know it's getting warmer, so every day that we're going to start being part of the ball field or in the academic circles, we're building ourselves a name. We're contributing to that name. That whatever that name ends up being, that's what people know about us. That's what they think about us. That's what they believe about us. And it was at that moment when I received that help that I realized that all the money in my pocket wasn't going to do much as what my dad's name did for me that day. The name, the family name that we had, and even years later, that we've been gone for almost 20 years now, all together as a family, people still remember my mom and my dad. And of course, the same is true for my wife's parents and the name that they have for themselves among the community too. But we know the emphasis of the value of a good name. I know we live in a society that pursues great riches. We pursue silver and gold, and we do so at any cost, that whatever it takes, as long as we can fill our pockets and our accounts with those things. And there are some people around us that are willing to sacrifice character and reputation, integrity, and all the other things that add up and contribute to a good name in order to become financially wealthy. Solomon is never putting down money in this verse. He's never telling us in this proverb that silver and gold and wealth don't matter. They do. We need those things. But when you really need something in this life, what's really going to come through for you will be the name that you have built for yourself. I just wanted to remind you this morning that you're building yourself a name. You're building a name for your family. And even years down the road, as I can attest to, you're building a name for your children and for your grandchildren. My encouragement is that you make it a good name. That every day you choose to have a good name. And if you're wondering whether this is possible or not, I want you to think about Jesus for a minute. Jesus had no wealth. He had no gold, no silver. Several occasions he made that abundantly clear. And yet, it's his name that brings comfort to a lot of people. It's his name that brings confidence to a lot of people. It's his name that we find salvation. It's in his name that we find trust and belief. It's in his name that we find all that we need. Jesus has the best name out of everybody who has ever lived and who will ever live. Had no gold, no silver, no wealth, but he had the name. As a matter of fact, the scripture says that he has the name above all names. It's possible that we can build ourselves a good name. And yes, we can still have wealth and gold and silver. But the key word in this proverb is the choice. So my encouragement to you today is to go and choose to build yourself, not just any name, but to follow Solomon's advice and counsel and wisdom and choose to build for yourself a good name. Because you never know who, whether it's a day from now, weeks from now, or years from now, who will benefit from that good name. As always, thank you so very much for joining our Wednesday Wisdom. Hope it's been something to start your day off on the right way. Please share it with your friends and your family. If you have an opportunity, you live in the Raleigh area, we would love for you to come by tonight, 7 o'clock, for our midweek Bible study. We have classes for all ages. If you are unable to come tonight, but maybe you can come on Sunday, then we would love to have you on Sunday. Bible class at 9:30 and our worship assembly at 10:30. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.